Why do we do this? We know that we have a high chance to succeed, but we also know there's a high chance of failing. And we still do it.
The game is not really, especially in entrepreneurship, it's not competing with other people, it's really competing with yourself in a way.
Sometimes being an entrepreneur is like eating glass, and sometimes being an entrepreneur feels like you're on top of the world.
From the outside, it always looks very simple. You think, oh, somebody came up with something that works on the internet, and now they just sit back and collect the money.
As an entrepreneur, one of my biggest challenges, and I think a big challenge for any entrepreneur, is trying to figure out how to get what's in your head out into the real world. And oftentimes that involves communicating with people and how to work with people.
I think as a founder it's very important to keep your team happy, because without your team you would be nowhere.
In order to be a good founder, I think you need to understand people. The team you're building and assembling, how do they feel every day when they go to work? Are people happy, not happy, why? How can you help them? And they go through, I mean, just like yourself, you're going through a lot of, personal frustrations, happiness, etc. And the more you can connect with your employees and with the rest of the team, the better it gets.
Firing one of my good friends was one of the hardest things I had to do in the last 6 months. Yeah, it was a very hard period for myself and also for the rest of the guys. And after a while we decided to part ways for the better of the company.
So there's a saying in startup land, and that goes, if you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. And I think every entrepreneur understands that. Like, you always want it to be better. You always, you mostly see the features that you didn't implement yet. But that's also sort of part of the game, right? You know it's not going to be perfect, but you're going to make the best effort with what you have.
We tried to get our MVP, well, too good, let's say, and it failed. And we lost a few months because of that. And what we did right now is we launched an MVP that we built on 3 days. And it's actually working. And based on those insights, we can build a new product. Especially as a first-time founder, there's so many things that you learn. And there is so many times that you say, oh gosh, if I have to do it again, I would do it like that. But it doesn't matter, because you already did it and you wouldn't be there because of what you already did.
I guess as in any job, you make things perfect and only you hand them in when they're perfect. That's not the case in entrepreneurship. You bring in things that are half-baked, you think this is horrible and yet you have to put it out there. So I think it's getting used to making progress and not making perfection.
When you think about it, we're always afraid of the unknown, but we realize that it's actually not that bad and that you should do it, or at least give it a try.
You're out of the comfort zone, and that's sometimes very hard. In the beginning, you don't earn money, so that's not easy. I think as a good entrepreneur, you have to believe that everything will be okay at the end.
You're always insecure because the competition looks better, more polished. But in the end, you just play with the cards you have, and part of that is bluff as well.
If you truly believe in your ideas and in your team and in all of that, just go for it.
it's a very good feeling when you see that people are appreciating what you're doing, when you have happy customers, and yeah, it's really hard, but it's also very fun to do.
It's hard work, it's a lot of risk, it can be very stressful. It's also very rewarding in multiple ways.
Not knowing necessarily what your path is going to be and having that sense of risk can be electric, and it can be invigorating for yourself and for other people. And so even with the unknown path that you take, I think that's why myself and a lot of entrepreneurs take that risk. And if there's a time to take a risk, I think it's when you're young and when you have the ability to do that.
I was having one of those tough days, and they said, you know, they used the Jesus words. He said, "Fear not." And I think fear is our worst fear. If you manage to understand your own fear, you can turn it into fuel, and that really is a game changer for a lot of people.